Hello and welcome to 5 Quick Questions. Today we're joined by Shannon Telepanich, who is one of our amazing account managers and former senior recruiter. She's specialized in perms at various times during her amazing 16 years with the company, including some work with small and medium business. How are you doing today, Shannon?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me here. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. So not all businesses are the same. We have small businesses, medium businesses, and large corporations, and applying them, can at times be a little bit different. Do you have any advice for folks out there? I know you have a lot of experience with small and medium in particular, but like any advice for folks who are trying to navigate maybe applying at a small company versus a large one?
Yeah, absolutely. I think right off the get-go, let's talk about the small businesses. I definitely would personalize your approach with a small business when applying. So, kind of tailor your application to reflect their potential company values and cultures and needs. And often you'll see a lot of small to medium-sized businesses will have a good value prop within their website, so you can kind of look around, make sure that aligns with you, and then speak to that within your resume and application. um, the ability when you kind of interview to demonstrate your flexibility. A lot of times in a small company, you're going to have to wear multiple hats and you're going to have to adapt to various roles and styles. And so I would just make sure that you're able to kind of display your ability to adapt, I guess, in the workplace, and kind of lean in and kind of have that ownership thinking, if you will. Um, yeah, and I think as well, like when it comes to like larger businesses, for example, you really have to kind of understand the company culture. So again, on the website, kind of do your research and understand what that company is all about. You want to make sure that you understand their mission, their values, their culture. And corporations will often look for candidates who are the right fit, that can continue to establish and create that company culture while bringing value to the team. I also suggest professional networking as well. There are a lot of companies that have, like, larger companies have a lot of people within them. If you've been in within the industry sector, or in niche work especially, I bet you know someone who works at that company. So a referral is often the best way to get noticed and to bump your resume to the top as well, from someone who works within that company. I think that would be my advice between small and large companies.
It's a great point. I think thinking about a large company, they kind of know what they want, they know what's going on, they have a certain culture, they have certain roles to fill. Kind of what they want out of an applicant is to say, okay, here's our need, can you fill it? And as a small business, kind of like this idea of flexibility and adaptability, they have a need, but they have a bunch of other things that they don't even know that they need. They want
Right.
someone who's capable and able to kind of move with their business because they just have fewer moving parts. uh, Perm can be a big commitment compared to contract work. And the last thing anyone wants is to kind of get stuck working at a company that they don't like, doesn't fit with them, isn't aligned, maybe is a bad company in some ways. Any tips for folks to avoid some of the companies that they might not want to work
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's the last thing you want to do is find your dream job and find out it's not an organization that is a good fit for you. So one of the things I would always suggest to people is read reviews online. There are lots of different sites like Glassdoor or Indeed, and LinkedIn will often offer insights through employee reviews. Look for patterns to review to identify any red flags, such as poor management or lack of work-life balance kind of issues, or even high turnover rates. The other thing I could do is to suggest that they examine the job posting itself. So a very kind of vague job description, or one that seems to combine multiple roles into one, indicates sometimes an unrealistic expectation or a lack of clear direction within the company. And I would always suggest, during the interview process, remember that it is just as much an opportunity for you to gauge as it is for the client. It's just as important to understand the role, the accountability, the fit. So ask questions. This is your opportunity to find out about the company and the role as well, not just the employer to vet you. I think another thing to look out for too when you're kind of moving into that interview stage too is like any delays in responses, or if they have to reschedule their interviews frequently. It could be a lack of clarity about the job role itself. It sometimes can indicate disorganization or chaotic work environment. So again, don't you mean if you've got a gut feeling about that, or if something is off, ask questions. I would invite curiosity.
What are some common mistakes you see from folks who are applying to perm jobs?
Oh yeah, another interesting. Those are great questions, Richard. It's probably not tailoring the resume the way they need to, right? So submitting a generic resume or even cover letter for the same one for every single job. My advice is to customize your resume and cover letter if needed to highlight those skills, your experiences that are most relevant to each specific job. So a lot of times you can use your keywords again to make sure that from the job posting, if they're relevant, you might as well add them in there. I think that other people as well will they'll fail to research what the company is all about. So not conducting adequate research on the company before applying or interviewing can definitely hinder how you're coming across in that first impression.
So Shannon, with the labor market being a bit down these days, maybe a little less hiring going on, or a little bit of uncertainty in the hiring market, some companies are scaling back a little and saying, I'm going to, hire a little bit more on contract, give myself a little bit more flexibility. Do you have any advice for candidates, things that they can do to increase their chances at getting a perm job right now?
Yeah, actually, I think there's quite a few. I think there's several strategies that they can definitely employ to increase the chances of landing the right job for them. When I think about things, one of the things is kind of optimizing your resume and LinkedIn profile is a good first start. Making sure that you've got your resume tailored. Do you know what I mean? Customize that resume for each job application. If you need help and want to make it more efficient, I always suggest using ChatGPT to aid in this. I think as well, kind of making sure that the keywords for different industry or sector specific information is in that resume. That will help you get kind of picked up if there's an applicant tracking system and some keywords. So focus on industries that are growing. Direct your job search towards industries that are kind of expanding as well. Apply strategically. I think that's another thing you could do. So there's lots of different strategies that you can employ, and I would probably do all of them.
Okay, last but not least, what are you hiring for right now, Shannon? Anything interesting, anything cool?
I have two very cool roles right now. So on the West Coast, we're looking for a senior energy study engineer. And on the Toronto side of things, we're looking for a hydrogen engineering consultant in the greater Toronto area. So as you can imagine, these two roles are a little bit tricky to find. So those are some of the more, I would say, interesting roles that I have on the go right now, though. They're kind of niche. There's kind of fun new elements, and both of them have the opportunity to kind of help improve the environment in their work.
It's a thing with those niche roles, hard to fill, but when you do find the person for it, usually a great fit and a satisfying experience for everybody. So, if you're out there and interested in those roles, feel free to reach out to Shannon. She's waiting for your call.
Absolutely, I would welcome them.
Okay, I think that's it for today. Shannon, thanks so much for being with us and for sharing your knowledge with the folks out there on LinkedIn.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me today. I appreciate it.